Yeah.
Giving you the funk 24/7.
We on.
You're listening to Philly Funk Radio.
Turn me on, turn me on, turn me on.
Live from Philadelphia, PA.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. You are checking out the Philly Live Show right here on Philly Funk Radio and Philly Funk Television, and we're just going to get right into the show. No theme music, no nothing. As always, we're joined by my co-host, my partner, Mr. Van Stone. We're going to throw it right to you, Van. Go ahead.
Yes. Van Stone, the face behind the voice. Hi, everybody. Of course, we're Philly Live. We're Philadelphia. We are national. And I'm your host. And, of course, my co-host, Jerry Wilson, along with our other co-host, brand new, Chef Stone. He's kicking it in. What's up, Chef Stone?
Hello, people. Hello, everyone.
All right. So what we're doing, we're going to get right into this week's show. We're really trying to set up something new, as we said, this year. We're going to do some themes dealing with back in the day, animation, cartoons, television, and we'll see if we can talk about what is the updates, animation, television, cartoon. So this thing here, I think we're going to do some reviews. We were brainstorming, me and Chef Stone, and we were talking about some current shows that we've been watching, and then we're going to do some critic review of it. So with that in mind, let's go right into a few of the name of the shows, Chef Stone, and then let's hear what your thoughts are about some of these shows. And also, there's a particular show, just to remind you, that is coming back out with an episode. So we want to hear about that great announcement. So let me say this: when it comes to Japanese animation, the way these cartoons are run, they're different. They may have up to 200 episodes, 200, where American cartoons, it definitely is not 200 all at once. So that's very interesting. So let's go back with, let's talk about a couple of the shows that you've been watching currently, Chef Stone, share it with the audience. And of course, also with Jerry. And then we'll, give us your views on, maybe the top two right now.
Okay, top two. All right.
Well, a couple of the shows. Make a list of, a couple. I've been watching several shows. So give me a list of several shows, and then we'll go into the top two. That way, these people have an idea of choices.
All right. Start off with the ones that I've only watched recently. There's this one called Vivi, where basically a robot that can sing has to go on a mission of preventing a 100-year incident that happens way later in the future, where robots take over, just AIs, and they do a lot of stuff that they're not really supposed to do. They malfunction. So that was pretty cool, I would say. This other one called Soul Leveling is about this guy who basically has this this system. That's what it's called in the show. It's hard to describe, but he's able to level up his luck, his strength, all that jazz. And recently, at least so far in the show, he's been trying to find this cure to fix his mother's illness. So that's what that show is about. After that, there's what else? There's Soul Eater. This show is basically about really two people. There's a lot of main characters, which is really interesting. But it mainly focuses on two characters, a guy and a girl, who collect, but then there's one which soul that they have to get in order for them to become, I think a death scythe it was called, to basically become at a higher level. So that was pretty interesting. There was this other one called Samurai Champloo, where these two guys and this lady, they're on a bit of a quest where the girl wants to find a samurai that smells of sunflowers. Along the way, there's a lot of lessons, plenty of just different kind of stories that it tells. It's not very structured and feels very episodic, but the lessons themselves are extremely effective and very well structured. What's next? There's this new show called Gotcha Yakuza, where this boy he gets unrightfully accused of a crime and is then sent into what is called the pit, where it's filled with all the stuff that they throw all their trash and garbage in. And he goes on a bit of a quest. It might change. From what I can tell, the story will probably change in terms of the main character's motives. But as of right now, the story is kind of a revenge type of story where he wants to go back and take revenge on all the people that unrightfully accused him. So that's what that show is for the most part about. It was very interesting. What else is there? Oh, yeah. Last but not least, man, oh man. Actually, no. There's two. Yeah, there's two others. There's this comedy series called Mashal, Muscle, and Magic, where this bold cut guy lives in a world filled with magic, and he has none. So instead, he has to make his way through the typical Academy of Magic and whatnot with his muscles alone. He has insane strength, and he uses that to outwit all the situations that he's put in. It's very comedy focused, but it still has a few messages sprinkled in. So it's pretty solid, I would say. But last but not most least is a show that I'm really looking forward to returning, being Scissor 7. It has 4 seasons already, and it has a 5th season as of right now. It should. I haven't checked. I plan to, but I wasn't able to get around to it, so I got to do that. But it's about a guy. I'm going to try to brief because I do have a lot to say about the show, and I know that I don't have the time to. But it's about a guy who he sucks at being what is supposed to be an assassin and stuff and everything because he doesn't really know how to be one, and he cares a lot about people. He cares a lot. He's a surprisingly compassionate kind of guy. The show is very odd, but I feel like if given a fair chance, it's people would end up really liking and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. I really can't wait. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to throw this back to you, Jerry. I'm sure you're not familiar with any of these shows. These are up-to-date newer shows. But
Okay.
is there anything that you think that you would want to watch or pay attention to?
No, but I do have a question for Chef Stone, and I was going to ask him earlier because we had an event earlier. I was over at the VSP Studios, and I noticed something. We had kids there, and they love whatever this Demon Hunter thing is, this K-pop Demon Hunter. Chef Stone, do you know what that is? Do you know anything about that? Because the kids were going crazy for it, and they knew the songs word by word. But me, as an old 51-year-old man, I have no idea what it is. Do you know anything about it?
I'm afraid I don't know that much. I have definitely heard of it, and I'll try to make like a brief synopsis of what it's about. But it's pretty straightforward. I think the title gives away pretty much what it's about. There's these K-pop like singers. They're a band of 3 and stuff. K-pop is Korean pop, just to clarify. And I'm not sure if they already are or if they become demon hunters, but basically there's this rival band of 5 guys, I'm pretty sure. And it turns out that actually, I'm not going to assume. I really don't know. But one way or another, demons become a part of the equation. And now the 3 girls, they have to stop all the demons and stuff and save the world because they're brainwashing everyone to be obsessed with the 5 other guys. Once again, I know that wasn't a very good synopsis given, but that is essentially what it's about, I'd say. Yeah.
All right, still better than the description I was gonna give because I have no idea what it is. So you clue me in on stuff.
Right, and the K-pop, K stands for Korean, which is interesting. So nowadays it's okay to say we're featuring Korean stars, but if you say Afro Samurai, for an example, that actually is an old cartoon. There was a series, and the voice on that was Samuel L. Jackson, just in case anybody didn't know about that. But there was a big complaint about anything Afro, which represents Black people, but you can come up with K-pop, and which K stands for Korean. I didn't even know that, so thanks for letting me know. And then now, so this is a big deal, and it's okay. Before we go to a break, Jerry, I want to ask Chef Stone, how do you feel about that? So you're Afro, you're Black, I'm Afro, I'm Black, and by the way, Chef Stone, you're old now. That's probably why you don't know about this one. So welcome to the old crew. You didn't think that could happen. So these younger kids are really into stuff you're not familiar with. So what do you think about that? Since you're into animation and building these type of things, Afro versus Korean.
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, the two things are very different from each other, but I haven't done a deep dive into what Korean pop is usually about, but I have noticed that there's a lot that they do in terms of the lyrics themselves, or maybe the beats that they use, maybe the melody, but it's very much influenced by Afro people, you, me, all three of us and stuff. That's really interesting to see. I think that's all I have to say about it. But it's really interesting to see inspirations from places like this, and I wouldn't really expect that. And it's kind of cool. It's cool.
Okay, back to you, Jerry.
All right, so we're about to take a break, but as I mentioned on our last show, and as you guys know, today is my birthday. So I'm doing the show on my birthday.
Oh, congratulations! Happy birthday!
So so Chef Stone is about to enter the adulthood, but me and Van, we're firmly in it. I'm turning 51 today, and well, I'm not gonna reveal Van's age. He could do that if he wants to, but he's got me beat by a few years. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take a break right now, and we will be right back.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Okay, and we are back. We got about 10 minutes, and this is the second half of the show, so we're going to throw it right back to Van.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Van Stone, the face behind the voice. You're listening to, of course, Philly Live, partner with WVSR 1360. You can check us out on YouTube. You can check out Van Stone Studio, Van Stone Center. We're in West Philadelphia. And of course, we are serving the Philadelphia area. I'm here with my co-host, Jerry Wilson, and also Chef Stone. If you catch on to Stone, then that kind of makes sense that we're related. This is my son. And boy, he's really about to take over, I would say, the media world, where he's got a lot of film and things lined up. But let's talk about what's happening, where I think most people are, again, paying attention. We're getting close to what may be a shutdown of our government. Wow. And if they shut down the government, that means that's a lot of money problems for the average citizen who depends on the government. Right now, so many people are just dealing with extreme hunger. And we have some plans on what we can do to try to end extreme hunger. But how can we do that when we have a government that is going to shut down? We can't even end the threat of government shutdown. So I'm going to go to you first, Chef Stone. You're coming into politics. You've never voted before, but I'm sure you have some opinions on these things. So what do you think about what's going on if the government shut down, and your view if you get to vote about this matter?
Pretty different subject. I mean, one that wouldn't be good to say the least. And it would change a lot for the much worse. That a lot of things would end up shutting down for sure. All sorts of businesses, ones that get kind of overlooked or like funded rather than like regular stores like Acme. It would like mess up a whole bunch, and it would give a lot of people major issues within their livelihood. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Jerry. You about to say something?
Yeah, so I don't think the government is going to shut down. The last government shutdown, oddly enough, guess when the last shutdown was? Just take a wild guess.
And the 1846.
Nope, it was actually 2018. Well, excuse me. It was 2020, and this was under the Trump administration. It was a 35-day government shutdown. So, you know what? Let me take that back. There might actually be a shutdown, and if it does, it's because he wants the government shut down.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of nonsense going on with this presidency, and everybody was warned about what he was going to do. Like I said on the previous broadcast, it's not like he didn't tell you Trump didn't tell you who he was, what he was going to do, or what he wanted to do, and he's doing everything. So, for better or worse, you could say Trump is actually keeping his promises, and his promise was to basically destroy everything and get back at his enemies. And this is another topic that Trump is trying to go after the people that were responsible, that were involved in his prosecution. Letitia James out in New York, which he fired the prosecutor because she couldn't dig up enough evidence because she's like, there's nothing there to try to charge Letitia James with mortgage fraud. And Comey just got indicted. It's a baseless indictment. And you know what? I actually wanted to ask you, Van, what did you think about that, about Trump going after these people and the fact that he's bringing these baseless charges and trying to go after everyone?
Yeah, well, Trump is in power, and there was such a thing as Valkyrie. There's actually was a movie called Valkyrie. This is a situation in Germany. Talked about this a long time ago, where they tried to take over the government. In the sense, Hitler, took over the government and took a process. The first time Hitler was actually put in jail, found guilty, got out of jail, and then kept going and ended up taking over the government. And of course, all these people were either put in jail or assassinated in revenge by Hitler. Well, Valkyrie, that's the same point, where they had a few heroes who were brave enough to try to fight against Hitler. And boy, it didn't turn out too well for those heroes. Most of them died. So even coming back now, this guy who was just assassinated in broad daylight during an event. And we're talking about that led to a big shutdown of a show. Did you hear about that one? The comedian, a late night show, made a comment on it. And then taken off the air, but he's back on the air. So what do you think about that, Jerry? You know,
Well, he's back on the air, and he's going to be back on the air all across the U.S. because what had happened was ABC put him back on the air, but the stations that were owned by one of Trump's friends, it's a company called Nexstar Communications, and I think Sinclair, even though ABC brought the show back, they were still holding the show off the air for the last 2 weeks, and they just made a decision, which is purely financial, because when Kimmel came back, the ratings were through the roof, and they're probably like, oh, wow, we're missing all of this ad revenue, so let's put him back on. But it's not because they care about free speech. It's because it's starting to affect their pockets. But I was having this conversation with someone who is an avid Trump supporter. For what reason, I have no idea. And you know this individual too, Van.
oh boy.
Yeah. And I was trying to explain to him because his thing is, well, Jimmy Kimmel's a hack. He needs to go off the air. All he does is he talks about Trump. What he fails to realize is satirizing, if I'm saying it correctly, is one of the fundamentals. Like, you need to be able to satirize your politicians. These are elected officials. They basically work for us. They work for the people. And if you can't make fun of them, then we're going to be like North Korea. We're going to be like Russia. We're going to be like all these other places where if you say, the president's hair doesn't look good, you get executed. Right. And, unfortunately, Trump is trying to take us down that direction. And I don't watch Jimmy Kimmel. I actually don't think he's very funny. But the government should not be involved in private business and private matters. When the government, basically what Trump's trying to do is turn everything state, all state media, all state everything. Just like I said, like North Korea, Eritrea, all those other places where you can't say anything. That's my thoughts on that.
Right. So Chef Stone, you're the creator of Super Media, the concept of superheroes, cartoons, so forth and so on. And you're good at being a voiceovers, so forth. What's your thoughts about you getting ready to go into the age now to vote? And what kind of show could you possibly put together to kind of help deal with this situation where we have a president that's reckless, and if you say the wrong thing, you may end up on trial in court?
That would be pretty tricky to do. I have to brainstorm about that because I got like a few ideas in mind, but I don't really know what to go with. And I feel like politics, it's a really messy subject. There's probably a better word I could use for that, but politics just in general, touchy. Yeah, it's a touchy subject, I'll say, because I don't know, everyone has their opinions and stuff. Everyone has their side of what they choose or who they're like against, and so on and so forth. But I feel like no matter what, if it was like a show, maybe a book, it probably would be better as a book, but definitely like as a show, no matter what, it would be off-putting since, I don't know, a lot of people don't really like talking about politics. No one's really a big fan about talking about politics. I know I'm not. So I really don't know. I don't want to plan out to say it's not the greatest idea, but it would be a risky one. A risky one? Yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't be the best idea. Yeah.
Well, would heroes of the last few stand a chance against Donald Trump and his villains?
That's a question. Well, you know what? I'm not sure. I gotta say, I couldn't actually. Politics are really good at are keeping secrets. You never know what they're gonna do, and that's really what makes them. I wouldn't say scary, but potentially dangerous. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
Chef Stone. No, you're using the exact right words. When you said politics is messy, you are exactly correct. I've been involved in politics. Your dad's been involved in politics. He ran for office. One of our other co-hosts, Warren Bloom, he's ran for several offices, and it could get really, really ugly and really nasty. So politics is a dirty game. I kind of dealt with politics a little at my last job. I'm not getting into the whole thing, but I was a victim of politics, and I'm no longer at that business, but that's for another time, another day. But yeah, I think you're right. It could get very messy and very ugly.
Well, we need U7, the top hero of my characters, and of course his sidekick, which is a female, Shaddai chiropractor. One speaks English, the other speaks Spanish, and I'm not sure if they would lose to Donald Trump again. Chef Stone, what do you think? You think our heroes of the last Q could really come up with something?
I have no idea. I really don't know. Maybe. Yeah. I'll say maybe.
So then that means that Donald Trump is really that powerful. That's the point. Even in the fantasy world, where in the fantasy world, the hero somehow wins, but in the fantasy world, this got to be really bad. That in the fantasy world, where the villain actually wins. Jerry, look like you was going to say.
Yeah, reality bleeds over into fantasy, huh? Ain't that something? So we're about to go because we have maybe a couple of more minutes. But as always, we only got two people. We only got Chef Stone, Van Stone, and we do final thoughts for the 30 seconds. So who do you want to start with first?
Oh, of course, Chef Stone.
Chef Stone, 30 seconds or less. What are your final thoughts?
Well, I hope for a lot of things. I try to stay hopeful because that's kind of what everyone needs, especially now. At least in recent times and stuff. It's really important to have. I would say, and why it's important to stay hopeful and stay positive, mostly because of how difficult that can be. Yeah, I think that's pretty much that's all I got.
All right. I'm up, Jerry. My 30 seconds, I'm up. So my 30 seconds, I like to say, listen, we have a great program here. We're going into a special month, starting into the season celebrations. Next month, October is going to be Monster Month. Again, I'm going to be making these type of announcements where we're doing monster things. You'd be surprised what a monster is in our view. We're going to deal with the original monsters. I said that, Dracula, Frankenstein, werewolf, and we're going to add in some other monsters. We're thinking about, how we can use that so we can be hopeful and use your fantasy. Think about your imagination and how powerful it can be. And if you need us, we're here for you at WVSR 1360, of course, PhillyFunkRadio.com. And that's what I have to say.
All right. And this is my final 30 seconds, and I'm actually directed to Chef Stone. You're about to turn 18. Make sure you go out and vote. Make sure you register first. You have to register first when you turn 18. When I was 17, I was so eager to turn 18 so that I could vote. Now, I've only missed a couple of elections and voting, and I try to kind of stay on top of what's going on in politics because you turn 18, you got a whole future. You got like 50 years ahead of you. So it's a decision of what future do you want for yourself, and later on, if and when you decide to have children, what type of future do you want for them? Because right now, things look very bleak, but that can change. And your generation, you guys are going to have to pick up the ball. Let's just put it that way. So that's my 30 seconds. That's what I had to say.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
ending
it?
the show.
That's it, right?
That's it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank everybody for joining us, and we see you on the next show. Goodbye.
All right.
All right.
All right. Let me cut this off.